Empowaworx is hosting its inaugural EmpowaYouth Indaba, a pivotal gathering aimed at tackling the time-sensitive issue of youth unemployment in South Africa. The event convenes influential leaders across job creation, employment policy and youth development. Under the theme, Reimagining Livelihoods and Recovering Lost Ground, the Indaba explores innovative solutions to reframe employment, empower young people and reshape the labour landscape. Minister of Women, Children and Persons with Disabilities, Sindisiwe Chikunga, delivered a keynote address. SABC News reporter Katlego Legodi is at the Youth Indaba for us. A very good afternoon to you, Katlego. Tell us more.
A very good afternoon to you, Nompu, and to our viewers at home. Well, you find us family in the center of young people here as we see some of those opportunities and issues of empowerment, and the lack of opportunities is really coming under the spotlight. This is the installment, the inaugural EmpowaWorx Youth Empowerment, and we find them just coming through with this Indaba here today to really give us a sense of where we find ourselves. You know very well that we are navigating a crisis as a country right now, and earlier on seeing the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, Minister Sindisiwe Chikunga, just coming through with a glimmer of hope to say that in the coming 5 years, we don't want to see or find ourselves where we are right now. But here today, you find various of those agencies. Yes, program here, the NYDA here, Harambee is here, the private sector, government as well, just trying by all means to really thresh out solutions to this and trying by all means to solve for youth. I'm going to bring Sibongile into the conversation here. They are the organizers of this Indaba here, and you just give us a sense, Sibongile, of where we find ourselves and why this then becomes a burning issue for EmpowaWorx. Welcome to the SABC.
Welcome, and we welcome the SABC to EmpowaWorx House. And to your point, we're not just only the organizers, but we are the brains and owner of EmpowaYouth, a youth platform that connects young people to opportunity through our strategic partnerships with the private sector, the public sector, civil society and organized labor. And today it was important for us to bring the biggest leaders. You mentioned some of our stakeholders, Harambee, Yes, for Youth, NYDA, people who are at the coalface of solving for youth unemployment. But to say, with the urgency and the rising numbers of unemployment, how do we intentionally integrate our isolated initiatives to multiply the impact on the ground through partnerships that cause sustainable growth and bring more young people into the fold? The call right now is for reimagination of livelihoods. We need to start thinking critically about what work looks like, both in the present and in the future, and how young people can also be entrepreneurial and be part of the solving for. We also have to fast track time. That's why we're talking about recovering lost ground, because a lot of young people are sitting at home in their 30s, who've never worked a day in their lives. That is a ticking bomb waiting to explode, and it's our responsibility as organizations that are at the coalface of youth employment to start talking about opportunity in actionable strategic ways and through partnership to be investor friendly as well, and to multiply the resources and the vehicles and enablers to take opportunity to young people in their communities.
I pulled you out of that session. That is very important. I'm going to let you go, but thank you very much for your time. Sibongile just giving us a sense of where we find ourselves with the youth. And she mentioned that some of those agencies are here. It's hot, Nompu, but you see young people just walking into Randburg to try by all means to more or less get themselves closer to the opportunities. I'm going to bring Harambee into the conversation with us now. Tumi Matsotse will just join us and just give us a sense of where we find ourselves. You guys are firmly in the center of just bringing about those opportunities, and earlier on we had the numbers that there are millions even of those opportunities and programs that would be bring themselves closer to young people, but we don't see that reflecting in the quarterly labor force survey, whereby we're still in the middle of a crisis where youth unemployment is concerned, and concerning also being that 1 in 3 of graduates also find themselves really navigating this challenge of crisis of youth unemployment. Let's bring ourselves closer to Harambee, and for you to also just give us a little bit of hope where young people are concerned, really give us a sense of where we find ourselves now and how can they get themselves closer to some of those opportunities.
Thank you so much, Katlego. You are absolutely right. It's hot here, but we're excited. Partners have come together to innovate together around solutions that can actually respond to this huge challenge of youth unemployment in our country. Now, as Harambee, we've had to pivot over the past couple of years. We used to do bridging courses where we used to bring young people into our offices to train them and give them the relevant skills that they need to enter and stay in the labor market. We've pivoted, and I'm very, very excited to announce many young people already know 4.5 million of them have already registered on the SA Youth Mobi platform. And the reason why we've set up this inclusive matching platform is to ensure that young people from wherever they are, rural, peri-urban, urban centers in South Africa, are able to connect to employer partners who are looking to hire entry-level talent. And I think for me, I would say if you're curious about where to go, just go to www.sayouth.mobi, log in, register a profile, make sure that you give us a full picture of who you are, your capabilities, your skills, your qualifications, your experience. Tell your career story on there, regardless of what you've done. Even if you were, caregiving at home, emceeing at an event, we want to hear all of that, because in that way we will be able to connect you to the right partners. SA Youth is part of the Presidential Youth Employment Intervention. Essentially, we've brought different partners into this one single network to ensure that young people aren't searching everywhere for different opportunities. Instead, you can go onto the platform. You'll see what the NYDA is doing. You'll see what ES is doing. You'll see what employer partners like African Bank are also doing to hire inclusively young people. I want to also encourage those who see themselves as entrepreneurs. There are opportunities for you on there to equip you, to support you, to enable you to, create opportunities, livelihoods for yourselves and others in your community. I think if we want to really build together, we need to work together as public-private partnerships, coming together with a single goal in mind to get young people working. And I think we can absolutely do that through integrating our frameworks and interventions to ensure that young people know and are aware of where the opportunities are.
Awesome. Tumi Matsuse, thank you very much for your time. Just coming through from Harambee, and you see them saying that, hot or not, they are putting these issues under the spotlight, and they are looking at a different 5 years. Them saying that it's time now to move from learning to earning in ensuring that we put youth issues and deployment or development under the spotlight as we go into the coming 5 years. It's back to you in studio, Nompu.
All right, thanks very much, Katlego, for that. Perhaps you can take a dip in that pool, because it does look like you're very hot over there. My colleague there, Katlego Legodi.